Hello, my name is Isabel Parkinson and I'm the editor of a new volume collecting translations of the Todesarten text by the renowned Austrian writer Ingeborg Bachmann. These translations have been carried out by 6 of our second year German students here at Oxford at the colleges of Somerville and Queen's. At the end of the project, we got together to talk about our experience of working together on these really exciting texts. My favourite thing about this project has been seeing just how quickly the students have taken to it. They've really taken ownership of their work and their approach. They've worked very hard on it even outside of classes and they've done a fantastic job. It's a reminder of just how talented our students are.
My favourite thing has been the creativity and imagination it's required. So Bachmann is very weird and has some crazy formulations, and just trying to convey that in English has been super challenging, but a really rewarding experience.
Yeah, I think the same. It's just a lot of Bachmann's writing is very confusing, and we'd have a lot of conversations about what she actually meant, and I think a lot of the time it took a long time to come up with solutions, and it was just very exciting to see it all finally coming together, and we did have ideas for everything in the end, so that was very rewarding.
Yeah, my highlight was definitely the aspect of teamwork. I think it was very interesting and insightful to see how others would interpret different nuances in the text.
My highlight would have to be working in a larger group than usual and getting so many different perspectives on the project.
I think my favourite thing about translating Bachmann is she is so difficult to translate. I mean, so many neologisms, so many long sentences. She doesn't know what a punctuation mark is, and also the ambiguity that comes across there is really useful for sort of sparking conversations, debating. We've had lots of heated discussions about what word should go where. But yeah, working as a team, and has been great.
Yeah, I agree. Working as a team has been really, it's been different because usually we do our translations kind of by ourselves, so it's really nice to have different people's perspectives and kind of a big range of vocabulary and different forms of creativity that kind of have woven themselves into the text.
Is there a particularly knotty problem in translation or in translating this project that you're really remembering, that has really stayed with you, that you remember grappling with?
I think for me, ambiguity would be a big one because, as Sam already said, I think when you have a word that kind of has different shades of meaning, that's often a really tricky problem in translating, and Bachmann has so much of that, and so many words or phrases where you're not quite sure what she means, or there are double meanings, and conveying that has been a challenge, I think.
Mm-hmm. How different has this been so far from your first year on the course when you did translation?
I mean, it's a much longer translation for a start, and also I think a far less simple text. Elizabeth has said, the ambiguity was a really big problem, or not a problem, but a big challenge, and it's allowed us to be a lot more creative than we usually would have been for exam practices, I feel like.
I found it interesting how you dealt with having multiple versions of a text. So how did you go about that?
So we sort of split into 2 different groups and translated the different sections that are very similar but slightly different, independently from the 2 groups were separate. But we did sort of cross-reference and we changed a couple of things, but we also kept it not completely the same because we wanted to keep that sort of the thoughts each group had had while doing it, and we wanted to keep both of those things in place.
I think an important process was kind of comparing words or phrases that come up in lots of the different fragments, and even across fragments that are otherwise not similar, kind of getting similar themes of madness, for example, kind of making sure that we were translating that in a kind of way that had continuity was a big part.
How did you deal with pronouns?
I think we had a big problem with man, because there isn't really a good English equivalent. In German it's sort of a third person general pronoun, so it's a bit like one in English, but one in English sounds very formal, and I think especially with Bachmann's writing, because it's quite it seems to flow, it's sort of like a stream of consciousness, and quite informal, so we didn't really want to use one. I think most of the time we went with they because we didn't want to use he because it's very masculine. Yes, we mostly went with they, but I think there's a little bit of you in there probably as well.
Yeah, sometimes it was a question of reformulating a sentence or changing it to be, you know, we, or finding ways around it, I think.
How did you settle on a register?
I'm not sure if we did, to be honest.
I think you're right in the sense that there's not really one distinct register the whole way through.
I think that comes to like the cooperative aspect of the translation though as well, in terms of talking to people and, you know, coming up with an agreement to see what register fits the text.
I also feel with the stream of consciousness aspects, we wanted to make it kind of feel very sort of stream of consciousness, not too formal, even though some of like the pronouns could be taken as more formal. We wanted to really keep that sort of like a quite personal sort of feeling within the work, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We talked a lot about the sort of cognitive element and how we wanted it to read as if you were sort of slipping into somebody else's thought track. Really, we didn't want it to be kind of jarring in any way.
And I think also that it's almost conversational quite a lot of the time, but often sort of conversational with itself. So we were sort of incorporating that element as well.
And this is Bachmann. It's very internal but very voiced as well.
Also, we were translating fragments, so you don't really get to fully stick to something because there's all these different parts that are slightly different and slightly similar. So just sort of diving straight into it and then dipping into something else. So the whole nature of the collection of fragments is very, very spontaneous and lots of different directions.
Which is kind of what made it so fun.
Yeah.
What has changed in your reading of other texts?
I think maybe it's given us more an awareness of when German is being used in a weird way and how to recognise when something sounds strange, it does sound strange, and like as we said with the cognitive, like getting into someone's mind, like all these sorts of ideas. Like I just think not just reading a text, thinking, well, how would you convey that in English?
Has it been fun?
Yeah.
Maybe one more question as well. If someone had told you this time last year, so at the end of your first year, that you would have been published translators by the end of your second year, what would you have thought?
You're lying.
Yeah, I would not have believed it.
Yeah, definitely not.
I would have thought, how would we have had the time?
Yeah, to be honest.
But it's definitely something that will stand you in good stead for the year abroad and for the finals. Great.